This is probably the greatest opportunity for financial freedom and wealth distribution that we will ever have in our lifetime. This video is not financial advice. I just want to talk about something that I've been excited about and share some knowledge that might help some of you out there. Hey my loves, welcome back to Lavender. So yes, we are talking about crypto. So I understand that crypto is something that not everyone understands, believes in, or supports because there are some certain like environmental concerns and this and that. I want to share my perspective on crypto, everything I've learned, everything I'm excited about, and why I think it's so important for you to at the very least learn and understand what cryptocurrency is, what blockchain is, how it is changing the world. So the truth is we are living during a time where the entire financial system of the entire world is undergoing a major transformation. Things are breaking down. People realize that things aren't working, and cryptocurrency, blockchain, this is a technology that was created not recently. It's already been out for over 10 years. But this technology is allowing us to have better systems for our money. It also brings power back to our hands instead of in the hands of our governments and central banks. And it's helping us move towards a system that is very different from the system that we know with our current financial system. So to put it simply, the reason why I think it's so important for us to learn about crypto, and especially now, is because this is probably the greatest opportunity for financial freedom and wealth distribution that we will ever have in our lifetime. You know, the systems from the old to the new are changing, and that transition in between is where there's so much opportunity. Like, I just want to share about this. You want to learn about this because wouldn't you rather be an early adopter rather than a late adopter? I still believe it's very early for crypto. We are in the beginning stages. So it's exciting for me because seeing where crypto and that whole space is now reminds me of seeing where social media was in like 2007 or 2008. It was just starting. Yeah, people were using it, but it wasn't like a full-fledged thing. Anyway, today I'm going to share my honest guide to crypto. Obviously, I won't be able to share everything in one video, but I will do my best to just share my perspective, what I've learned, and I'll share like exactly what I use and just more details later on. I'll put a disclaimer that I am a firm believer in Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin is the future. Not saying that we're going to use it in everyday transactions, that I don't know, but that the fact that the value of Bitcoin will hold and only grow with time, that I am a firm believer. To understand why people believe Bitcoin will be digital gold and it will only hold value and grow in value over time, you have to first understand how money works and then how Bitcoin works. So Michelle Phan actually put it very simply in this video here that I'll link down below. I'm not going to explain it because it would take extra time. She does a very good job explaining it. Her explanation is based off the book, The Bitcoin Standard, which is a very, very good book to read on this topic. I read half of it, didn't finish it, but you know, working my way through. But essentially, there's a difference between hard money and easy money. Hard money is money that is difficult to create and thus it is scarce, and that's how it holds its value. And what makes a good quality money is that it's hard, it's scarce, and it's hard to increase the supply. Kind of like gold, it's hard to mine more gold. The amount of gold you mine per year is a very tiny amount compared to how much gold there already is in the world. So it doesn't change the value as you mine it because it's so hard to mine. Our paper money, on the other hand, fiat currency, is very easy to increase in supply. You've seen it in the past year. The government just decides to print more money, and so they print money, and now the money that they printed in the past year, in the US at least, is 40% of the total circulation of dollars. So that means there is more supply in the circulation, thus the value of your dollar and your money goes down. And this happens year after year. It's called inflation, but in the past year, inflation has grown faster. So typically inflation was maybe 2 to 3% a year, and the inflation for the past year was 6%, if not more. It could have been more. What that means is that your money that you hold in cash is devaluing year after year, and especially in the last 2 years, it's devalued even more. Not only that, but the current system benefits the rich and hurts the middle and lower classes, and it's unfair. One example of this is when you have inflation, assets will increase in price year after year. Assets like houses and just real estate, expensive things. So rich people are the ones that hold assets, not the normal everyday person. So rich people are making money because of the price inflation, whereas people from middle or lower classes that can't afford assets, they're working day to day, living paycheck to paycheck, they are hurt by inflation because their money that they're working so hard to earn every single day is losing value year after year as the prices of everything around them is increasing year after year. And people always complain that the rate of inflation, the rate of the price of things increasing, is not as fast as the rate of wages increasing. And so it's not exactly an ideal system. Bitcoin fixes this because it is programmed to have only 21 million Bitcoins ever created. It's a finite supply, and once the supply is out, there's no way you can print more of it if you wanted to. And thus it is money that is truly valuable, that is truly scarce. And I know a lot of you are questioning, like, where does it even get its value from? Why is a Bitcoin like 50 something thousand dollars right now? And the reason is because enough people in the past few years since Bitcoin was created believed in Bitcoin enough to trade their Bitcoin for their fiat currency and hold Bitcoin. And the more people believe in Bitcoin, the more the value increases. It's like a network effect. And the reason why I'm a Bitcoin believer and I don't believe it's going anywhere is because over time it has proven to continue growing. More and more people are adopting Bitcoin, more and more people are buying it. Thus, the price has risen up to the point where it is now, and enough institutional money has bought into Bitcoin, meaning rich people, wealthy banks, all these big bank money have bought into Bitcoin. Even Tesla's bought into Bitcoin. All these companies have Bitcoin in their balance sheet. That tells me that these rich people and these rich businesses are not trying to lose their money. They're gonna support all it takes to increase Bitcoin because they have decided to believe in Bitcoin and they have a lot of money and a lot of power, and it's only going to keep going up because so many like major important big people believe in it. Even El Salvador now uses Bitcoin as legal tender, and that was a huge step forward for Bitcoin. So if an entire country believes in Bitcoin and is using it as its legal currency, that tells me that Bitcoin is not going anywhere. You think they're gonna cancel it after they've already started using it? So that on its own tells me that Bitcoin is only gonna become more and more mainstream as you see your friends start to get into it, as you teach your parents to get into it, your cousins and aunts and uncles and just everyone in the community, people who of all ages, as you see these people get into Bitcoin. And the more people who buy Bitcoin and believe in Bitcoin, the more the price is just going to skyrocket because of that finite supply. When there's a finite supply and there's like 7 point something billion people in the world, imagine if everybody wanted a piece of Bitcoin, how expensive would Bitcoin become? So that's my main reason for believing in Bitcoin. It's the network effect, and it's my reason for why I believe there won't be like another coin that surpasses Bitcoin in terms of a digital gold kind of hold of value. There are so many other cryptocurrencies, a lot of altcoins as people call them, and at this point, like, I don't know who's gonna win this competition. It's a battle of like the technology and the adoption rate, and I feel like that's where it's exciting because we really don't know what the future is going to look like, but a lot of people are building the future right now, and so we should learn about it. I also want to touch upon volatility because cryptocurrency is still a very volatile market. It is less volatile than it was, when it started. And the way I see volatility in a trend is when something is new and people don't really believe in it, the volatility is like huge. And then the more people believe in it and the more adoption happens over time, I believe the volatility will eventually slow down. And I think we see it now. Like, Bitcoin is not dropping below like a certain floor. It's not going back to like $5,000 Bitcoin, $50 Bitcoin. I don't think we'll ever see that moving forward in our lifetime. So that's something to keep in mind. The more something is mainstream, the more people believe it and trust in it and support it, the less volatile it will be. If you are afraid of volatility, don't invest more than you would want to lose. But But with something like Bitcoin, like I mentioned, I truly believe it's not gonna like drop to zero any day. So it is something that if you decide to hold long term, I do believe it will be safe and it will hold its value and it will grow over time. You would be surprised. For anything that is not Bitcoin, I can't say the same thing because like I mentioned, I feel like we are still figuring out who's going to be a winner or loser. There might be coins that trend up really fast and then they crash and then something new comes along and that's better than this version. And so yeah, so there's definitely more volatility with altcoins, definitely. There is like new altcoins popping up every day. I don't recommend getting into like the brand new stuff, the really trendy stuff. I don't recommend like the Doge coins and Shiba coins, like anything meme related. I personally am not into that. Maybe I will dabble a little bit, but I won't take it seriously. Again, this is not financial advice, but this is just my thoughts that make sense. If you are a super safe person, just stick with Bitcoin. If you have a little bit more risk tolerance, you can play with the other ones like Ethereum, Solana, just any L1 kind of crypto. L1 means layer 1. So there's something called layer 1 and layer 2 cryptos. I don't really think you need to know this, but layer 1 is the base basically. And then layer 2 are all like the little applications and softwares that are built on top of a layer 1. So for example, Ethereum is a layer 1. And there are so many other like softwares and companies and coins built on top of Ethereum. And so that's why I do believe in Ethereum, because there's like hundreds there, or maybe even more things that are built on top of that layer 1 platform. And so if you are a little bit more, you know, you want to explore a little bit beyond Bitcoin, you can explore layer 1s. And then if you want to explore a little more, you can explore layer 2s. This is where you do your own research, your own exploration and discovery journey. I'll leave you to it. Probably the biggest criticism that you hear for cryptocurrency is its environmental impact. A lot of people don't support crypto because they're like, oh, it's bad for the environment, and just the amount of energy it takes to mine Bitcoin or any coins just takes so much energy. And I do believe that, you know, that is the current media narrative that is preventing a lot of people from learning crypto and taking it seriously. And I think you have to look beyond that. There are so many people looking towards clean energy, renewable energy sources to do this Bitcoin mining. And yes, it does take a lot of energy, but at the same time, you also have to consider that cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, it is changing the world. Like, it's changing the way we use and see money. And thus it is going to make so much of our old financial system obsolete. So think of all the banks in the world, all the financial companies, all the people that wear ties and go to skyscrapers and go to work. All of that will be obsolete one day. That might sound extreme to you, and I'm sure there will still be some bank jobs here and there, but it will be crypto related. But it is true, if you really think about it, a lot of those buildings, the energy it takes for them to keep their lights on and like ATMs running and just all of that, that's a lot of energy that in the future we're not going to need because of cryptocurrency. So I know that's not the best argument, and please feel free to do your own research on this, because there are people smarter than me that have made better points about this environmental concern than me. But just the fact that cryptocurrency incentivizes miners to find cleaner, faster, more efficient sources of energy. This past year, I read the book called The Price of Tomorrow, and that's another book I highly recommend about technology and the future of where things are going, because in the future, like, we will get so good at finding clean, renewable energy sources like solar energy, and it will become so cheap to the point where it is free. It will be free to have unlimited energy from the sun. We have not gotten to that point yet, obviously, but year after year, technology is growing at like an exponential rate. So every single year, clean, renewable energy is getting cheaper and cheaper to source. And thus, I believe that will be a big part of like solving this environmental concern with cryptocurrency, because right now, just we have to rely on our old ways of getting energy. But just know that these miners are incentivized to find better, faster, cheaper sources of energy. And when you have people incentivized because of the, you know, mining cryptocurrency and the financial benefits you get, they're going to find a way. Smart people are going to find a way. So I truly believe that eventually energy will be like not a problem. It won't even be a question. I'm sure you guys have heard of NFTs or the metaverse. Basically, blockchain technology is revolutionizing more than just our financial systems. It is really going to seep into every industry. It's going to change the world that we live in, how we see, perceive, and function in our world. So NFT stands for a non-fungible token. It's essentially a digital asset. The game-changing thing about NFTs is the technology now allows for you to create a digital asset and not be able to like imitate it or copy it. Like, this is proof that this is the one version of this asset. And that asset can be bought and sold on a marketplace. It can be transferred from owner to owner. And basically it revolutionizes anything digital that is an asset, like art, music, movies. And I do believe in the future it's going to seep into so many other industries like real estate. Right now, everything's still like paper. You still like need a deed to your house. I believe in the future it's going to be an NFT. Like, your house deed will be an NFT, and when you sell your house, like, it's just as easy as transferring an NFT. So you're going to bypass a lot of those middlemen and a lot of the paperwork. There's so much potential for how NFTs will be used in the future, but right now I think the most popular way they're used is just like buying and selling art or digital assets in like games and things like that. The past year, I've been learning more about real estate, trying to figure out, okay, what are good real estate investments? And that kind of led me down the rabbit hole to digital real estate. So there are places online called the metaverse where you can buy digital real estate, kind of like Decentraland, where it's like a digital world where there's different games and places you can visit. People are paying real money, millions of dollars, purchasing digital land, digital real estate. So it is a thing, and it's only going to grow. This is another part of crypto, or Web3 as people like to call it, that I think is really exciting because it's another way that our world will be changed. In the future, there will be more spaces in the metaverse, basically digital worlds where we will interact. Just like social media changed the game completely on how we communicate with each other, how we express ourselves and connect with other human beings, like the metaverse and the next level of where the internet is going, that is going to transform the way humans connect again. So seeing this as a trend that's only going to keep growing in the future, I was just curious and learning about the opportunities there are right now to learn and invest in digital real estate. And that led me to learn about blockchain gaming. So the new trend and future of gaming is games that are created on the blockchain. What does that new technology allow these games to do? It allows gamers to actually own their assets, because their assets in the game are NFTs, and it allows them to take those assets out of the game and buy and sell them on a third-party marketplace. So if you guys have ever played any video game, essentially you're like playing the game, you're putting in hours, you're working hard, defeating bosses, leveling up, and you're earning like coins or tokens in the game, whatever it is, and you're gaining, like, whether it's new clothes, a new car, and there are things that you can level up and buy in the game. But traditional games don't allow you to take any of that out of the game, and it doesn't really have real world value. So blockchain gaming changes that. It allows gamers to own the assets they have in the game, to take them out and sell them and make real money. And also the coins they earn in the game are cryptocurrencies that have real world value. You can trade it for USD or another crypto if you want. A lot of these games are called play to earn games because you play and you earn real money by playing the game. And it's very interesting because we are really at like the infancy of this trend. Yes, there already exists play to earn games that are out right now that you can start playing. One of the biggest ones is called Axie Infinity, and it's created millionaires. Like, people in the Philippines and in Vietnam have quit their jobs and they make more money playing this game than they do in their normal jobs, and it's life-changing for a lot of people. But what's interesting is that there are so many new games in development, a lot of new games that people are super excited about, and these are games being developed by like the top of the top people in the gaming industry. And there are a lot of big games that are set to come out next year, and I'm sure they're only gonna keep rolling in more and more. And so we are really at like year zero of play to earn games before this whole trend will change the gaming industry. And if you guys know, like, gaming is a huge industry. On YouTube, it's the gamers that that make the most money. It's just, there's so much money, so many people in that industry. So even though a lot of these big games have not come out yet, people are already able to buy assets and real estate in these games that have yet to be released. For example, one of the games that I'm excited about coming out is called Mirandus by Gala Games. It's a fantasy RPG game, and they have already sold like the land, the castles, buildings, and characters in that game to people as NFTs, and people bought them and they're selling it to each other on the NFT marketplace. So not only are the game assets going up in value because they're being traded before the game has even launched, but the concept of the game is basically like a mini economy. Like people buy land, they buy a building or a castle or whatever. Maybe say you own like a bar, a tavern in this game. So in the future, when people play this game, the gamers will have to pay you for, you know, whatever you sell in your tavern. Or if you own land, people will have to pay you rent in the game. So you're making money in the game as if it's a real world economy. So if you think about the implications of having an economy in these games that are also metaverses, you can see that these are really like a way to make money. Since I got into the space, I actually found a new YouTuber that I really enjoy. His name is On-Chain Gaming. And so he's kind of who I watch to learn about this whole like space. One of the things he mentioned about the future of our society is, if you think about it, AI is going to grow exponentially. There's going to be less and less jobs for people. But on the other hand, this whole trend of this like play to earn gaming and metaverses is only growing. So I do see a future where people make money by playing games instead of going to work, because the robots are doing our jobs for us. But humans need something to do. So when you're playing a game, you're still putting in effort. You need skill and strategy and intelligence to win at these games. And it's like you know, a simulation of the real world, as if we're not already living in a simulation. Maybe not. But I think that is such an interesting thought for the future, because it is coming, and it will likely come sooner than you think, because the speed at which technology advances is exponential. So that is all to say, if you are good at games, you can have a bright future. I'm not good at games, but I'm interested in the space. I'm learning about it. I've even invested a little bit in the space. But as you can see, I'm a person that likes to think about the future and be excited about the possibilities there are, and understanding that when you have a transition from the old to the new, there is a lot of opportunity in between. Yes, there's gonna be chaos. Yes, there's gonna be pushback. Yes, there's gonna be non-believers and I don't know, all this mess. But in the mess, that's where you find the opportunity. And if you are a pioneer, like I don't want to call myself a pioneer, but I do feel like I tend to be more of an early adopter. Like I was an early adopter for social media. I believed in YouTube before anyone else believed in it as a career. And I don't know, I just think it's exciting. I feel like this video is very long, but if you made it this far, I will give you the quick tips like I promised. I will just share everything I use related to crypto. But obviously, I haven't tried everything out on the market. Do your own research. There are things I haven't tried that are probably also good, but I will share what I use. First, exchanges that I use to buy and sell crypto. So I started with Coinbase. I think Coinbase is great for beginners, but the fees are pretty high. So I moved on to test out Kraken, Binance, Gemini, and then recently KuCoin. If you're looking for beginner friendly, then probably Coinbase and Gemini are very beginner friendly. You can easily link your bank, and it's, you know, everything's very standard and trustworthy. The people working behind those companies, super professional, high quality, major institutions backing them. So you'll be fine with those two. For intermediate users, there's Binance and Kraken. And when I say Binance, I use Binance US because I'm based in the US. I know they have an international version that has more options, but those two take a little bit more effort to like connect your bank and understand how they work. I think there's more coins available. I personally really do like those two though. So those are the twos that I would recommend if you really want to get a little bit more serious and buy more than just like, you know, one or two types of coins. Next are crypto portfolio trackers. So there are two that I use, and I like them for different reasons. One is called CoinStats. That one's really popular. And then the other one is called Coin Tracker. So CoinStats is probably the most comprehensive. It has like your wallets. It tells you like the percentage of growth. It tells you how much you bought a crypto for. Because before using these trackers, I was using a Google Sheet, and it was getting very tiring updating my Google Sheet every single time and updating the prices for everything. It was a lot until I discovered these trackers. So if you don't know about them, try them out. Next, wallets. So the wallets that I have tried are MetaMask. That is an Ethereum wallet. I use that to hook it up to OpenSea to purchase NFTs. And there is Trust Wallet and Coinbase Wallet. I haven't found a wallet I absolutely love yet. I think I just use them sparingly. So I'll get back to you on that. Also, cold wallets. So cold storage means storing your crypto like physically, whether it's like in something or your code on a piece of paper. That's something that people recommend if you want to keep your crypto safe, provided that you don't lose it or your house doesn't go on fire and it destroys all your money. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to expand to cold storage, but just letting you know the option is there. I think I talked enough in this video. I hope that it was helpful, even in the littlest way. I know it's not the best way to put this information together. I wanted to talk about crypto for a long time, and I have in 2 videos in the past, but to explain it is difficult. You know, I'm still learning this. It's new, but it is exciting because I see it changing the world in so many different ways. And I do know that a lot of my viewers are women. Like, I bet 95% sure that you are a female, and there are not enough females that are learning about crypto and getting into it. And if we're not learning about it, then we're gonna be behind. You know, when this trend starts to become bigger and bigger, I don't want us to be behind. I want us to be in the forefront of these changes, because like I said in the beginning, crypto is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, opportunity for our generation for financial freedom and wealth distribution. Essentially, there's the old way where the wealth was distributed this way, like the rich 1% had most of the wealth and everybody else was under, to we're changing to an entirely new system. And if you realize that and recognize that, you can get a head start. And the wealth is redistributing already. Like I mentioned, there are gamers in third world countries making more money than they could ever have dreamed, playing games than working their, regular jobs. And I see this as redistributing wealth around the world and across different social classes. And it's a very exciting thing. So I know there are a lot of people that are still critical of crypto and don't support it or believe in it. And a part of me kind of feels bad for them. Like, I want to help open their eyes, like, oh my God, you don't understand the opportunity that's right in front of you. This is probably not going to happen again. The internet was created and then we're moving forward. Social media was invented and then we're here now. And this is the next level of the internet and the world. So that's why I think it's so important for me to make this video and talk to you guys about it. I'm sure you hear it in my voice that I'm being genuine and passionate. I know it's not my typical topic. For a while, I held myself back because I'm like, ooh, like who wants to hear about crypto and NFTs and gaming on my channel? But I realize it's not a niche thing that only boys are into. It's not a thing that only nerds are into. This is our world that we're living in. It affects everybody, whether you realize that or not. And that is my mic drop, end of my TED Talk. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, my very unorganized talk about crypto, NFTs, the metaverse, and blockchain gaming. If you have any questions or any specific videos that you'd like to see from me, please comment down below. Maybe there's new things that we can explore that mesh Lavender with this new version of reality and the internet. So let me know, how do we want to transform in 2022 and moving forward? Sending you so much love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.